Richie Rich Show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Trucker Richie Rich. I'm coming to you from Central Florida. At first I was against TAs that charge to park, but you know what? I think I'm for it, man. $5 a day ain't too bad, and they really maintain the hell out of this parking lot. I mean, look how clean. This is probably one of the cleanest TAs I ever saw. And they charge $5 a day to keep the bums away. I can agree with that. See, this guy here, he's leaving. He saw that the parking charges, and he's just taking off. Yeah, a lot of guys saw that parking was charging, and they just left. But I'm gonna say $5 a day keeps the riffraff away. That's a good deal. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Check one, check two. It's your boy Richie Rich, back on the ones and twos of trucking, man. The trucking game continues. I'm down here in Florida, man. I love Florida. I do. It's funny because I used to love California, and I don't want to get political on this app, right? But California went down the drain, man. The last 6-7 years. California used to be like my second home. Any chance any opportunity I had to load to go out there, I go. I used to love to hang out, the beach, San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, but now it's gotten worse, man. And the problem is the homeless, right? And I'm not making fun of anybody or, trying to down anybody going through anything hard in life. We all go through hard things in life, but the way those homeless encampments out there in California are the worst. I mean, disgusting, okay? And I just don't want to be around that stuff, man. So now my new home is Florida. I love Florida. I'm down here dropping a load off, and I came across a pretty nice TA. This is the first time I think I ever stopped here. And I like it. I was really against TAs that charge to park. But this one is maintained very well. The parking lot is clean, the inside of the store is clean, and all the riffraff are chased away, right? Because they don't want to pay that $5 a day. So this is a pretty decent truck stop. I just had the best steak of my life, or best steak of my trucking life in a truck stop, I should say. It was really, really good. So anyway, I want to tell a quick story about perception and versus reality. And it brings me back to working here in Florida. Like I said, I really do love Florida, man. I like the warm climate, the flat lands. It's just unfortunate that there is no loads leaving out of here that pay really, really well. You kind of have to go into a specialty market to make good money here in Florida. So I actually did that. I used to pull a tanker, food grade tanker for Indian River Transport. They're out of Winter Haven, Florida. This was about 5 or 6 years ago, right? I actually liked it a lot. It was a great job. The only problem was because of the downtime, because of times you have to wait to get loaded and clean. A lot of times, those times kill your clock, and you wasn't really making any money. The paychecks are about $600 to $700 a week type of deal, and just wasn't enough money to live comfortably where I was trying to do. But I hear that the pay went up a little bit. I don't know, but they were a pretty decent company, man. Let me tell you a quick story. Story time. I got a call from the dispatcher in Indian River Transport, and he says, "Hey, Rich, you got a TWIC card, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I got a TWIC card." Went and got one just because I knew I had to work the ports. And he's like, "Hey, man, I got an opportunity for you." Says, if you go down here to Port Manatee, that's outside of Tampa, there's a ship coming from Brazil carrying guava juice. And the ship will be here for about 7 to 8 days. And what I'll do, I'll pay you $50 a load. And it's going to Bradenton. And it's only like 3 miles from the port. And it's like a relay race. As many times you can go get empty and get loaded again, it's $50 a trip. So I said to myself, man, that's a hell of a deal. Okay. And you know what? That whole week I did make some money. That was the first time I really saw a really, really big check. I think I was averaging like $500 or $600 a day. So anyway, I was running back and forth to the Bradenton, to the Tropicana place to unload the juice, and then back to the Port Manatee to pick up the juice from the container ships. Big old container ship too, man, massive. Probably held tens of thousands of gallons of guava juice. I mean, it was phenomenal to see that. I never saw that in my life before. I guess how those oil tankers cross the ocean, you know, with millions of gallons of oil, they also have that for juice too, which I never knew. Anyway, I'm down there and I'm looking at this guy, and me and him are racing back and forth. And I looked at his truck and I said, God, that's a piece of shit. I mean, it was an old clunker. It was held together by Scotch tape. His turn signal lights had yellow tape on them instead of the real lights. I mean, it was something held together by love. Okay. And I was just looking at him, and my perception was, man, that raggedy ass truck, I don't know how he's making any money for $50 a load. You know, that truck's going to fall apart. Anyway, towards the end of that week, right, I decided to stop and talk to him because the juice started to go down low and volume started to come down low from the trucks. And I stopped him at Bradenton at the Tropicana, and I said to him, I said, man, your truck is falling apart. He said, yeah, man, I bought this cash money. Only paid a couple $1,000s for it. He said, but I thank God for it because I only work 8 days a month. And I'm like, 8 days a month? He said, yeah, man, I do this juice run here only. That's the only thing I do. From Port Manatee to Bradenton. And so I asked him, I said, well, how much are you getting for this? Because he was an owner-operator. I was making $50 per load. And I calculated, I did about $600 worth of work. So I was like, I did pretty good. And he asked me, he said, how much do you make? And I told him, $50 a load. He said, oh, young boy, I'm making $500 per load. And I was like, shit, $500 per load? He said, yeah. Every time I run back and forth, he said, I don't sleep. He said, I just work hard for the whole week until the last drip of juice is off that truck. And I come back and do it again next month. And I only work once a week, once a month. So if I made $500 a day, right? And I didn't do the math in my head, and maybe you guys can do it for me. But I left a decent paycheck that week, right? I mean, it was a couple $1,000 minus taxes and stuff. But him, he probably cleared, let me think. He probably cleared 20 grand maybe. I don't know. I mean, he was running back and forth as many times as I was. I didn't see him take a 10-hour break. You know, I took a 10-hour break during those times. I don't think he even did that. I think he just kept running back and forth and maybe took power naps in between, because there's in Port Manatee in front of the docks, there's a truck stop, not a truck stop, but a rest area there. And a lot of truckers sit there and go to sleep or wait for escorts to go into the dock. And I think he was there once or twice, maybe for 2 or 3 hours. He was back at it. No logs or anything. But at that point, you're only driving 3 miles. I mean, literally, 2 lights down the street, make a right, and you're right there at Bradenton Tropicana. So he might have cleared 20 grand, maybe more, maybe 30 grand. I mean, he made a lot of money. And that just told me the reality versus perception. Here I am in this brand new Peterbilt 579 tanker truck, and he's driving an old piece of 80-something Freightliner that's shaking to death. But he's making a lot of money, and he's working smarter, not harder, right? Because you imagine you work 1 week out of the month, the rest of the weeks you can do whatever you wanted to do. I think he was telling me that he does real estate on the side, and he's a landlord, so he oversees his properties. But I never forgot that conversation I had with him, and it stayed in my mind. And man, if I can, you know, maybe I need to aspire to be like that guy. You know, the older I get, you know, being gone from home and working in different climates, it's kind of hard on the body now. And this is from years of being outside dealing with traffic and being a law enforcement officer, and then years of driving trucks in different 0-degree weather. I mean, I just literally saw a video of a guy somebody sent me, parked on the side of the highway up there in Wyoming because his fuel lines are freezing. If I can work in Florida and South Carolina, I'd be happy. I would. If I can make that kind of money. And it makes me think, maybe, part of this trucking game is taking calculated risk. Sometimes you got to take risks to reap the reward. Do you know what I mean? And I need to really seriously think about that. And I guess that's what I was doing when I tried to open an owner-operator thing last year. It's just that it was improper risk, because the worst type of owner-operator you can really be is a lease purchase guy. I'm going to be honest with you. Being a true owner-operator, having your own authority, your own truck that's paid off or very minimum to spend, and can generate you a lot of profit. Because even when the fuel prices went sky high, the low freight rates, there was a lot of guys out here still eating. Do you understand? Still making good money. They did it smartly. So this is just an educational thing here, and I'm still learning. I've been in the game 11 years, and you never stop learning. And there's nothing wrong with dipping your toe out there and failing. Okay, failing is a part of growing. Me personally, when I was in the military and when I was in doing the law enforcement thing, I never really wanted to follow a leader who never failed. Okay, that's not a leader to me. A leader is somebody who failed multiple times and figured out how to do it right. Okay, and this is what this game is about here in trucking. We are trying to figure out how to do this right, how we can survive, make a great living, and provide for our families. So it just made me think, because I'm down here, and when I pulled into the state of Florida, I felt pretty good. I mean, I felt I felt relaxed almost, because it's beautiful to see the green leaves. It's beautiful to see the ocean. Waking up every morning when I was doing that run and looking at the ocean was a gorgeous thing, and I want to do things, if I can have it my way, I want to do things that, bring me joy and peace, and also make me a living too. And you can have it out here. You have to tailor it to your fit. And there's no such thing as the easy route. And a lot of us owner operators or lease operators think that we are taking the easy route. And there's no such thing, It's no, if it is, it's like a 1% or 0.5% chance the person might have it easy for them and things work out the way they want it to. But sometimes you really have to work hard and work at your plan. And now that I think about it, my plan is to be like that guy. Work hard for 1 week out of the month. Every time the boat comes into the port, I work that boat, and then I go on home. Make 20 grand a week doing it. Just run my butt off and do what I need to do, and then go on home. So anyway, y'all, this is just something on my mind. I'm here at this truck stop, and even now it's getting dark and it's clean and quiet. I was really apprehensive paying to park in Florida, but $5 a day is not bad, or unless you spend $25 inside the truck stop, and what you saw, I spent that on a steak. And you get a nice, clean, secured cameras, parking lot. I was looking at the Loves across the street, and that thing is junky over there, and it's just full of riffraff. So I guess my opinion might have changed a little bit about paying to park. Anyway, peace, love, and nappiness. Hope everybody's doing well. Peace.